Maido, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about when you're presenting, but in your organization, your bosses don't get it. Present or master shimashou. This is the fourth year of the Presentations Japan series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. My new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. Every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 229, and we are talking about presenting when your organization's leaders are struggling. The largest meeting venue in the office complex was big enough to handle hundreds of people, and it was packed. This presentation involved all the senior heads of the department going through their strategies for the coming year. One after another, we took to the stage and spoke about our areas of responsibility. I was one of 5 who spoke. My turn came after a particular colleague who was a numbers whiz, a brainy technical expert. He didn't like the way I presented. He went around telling other colleagues I was all style and no substance. I just laughed when I heard that flat earth comment. Over the years, I have heard versions of the same idea. These comments weren't necessarily being directed at me as a put down by a sharp, elbowed, thrusting colleague, but toward the activity of presenting in general. There is a fundamental misunderstanding of presenting in play here. Of course, the material has to be high quality, valuable, and insightful. That is a given. If you don't have that basic requirement covered, then what on earth are you doing presenting at all? Instead, you should be sitting in the audience, listening to people who know what they are talking about and be kept away from the dais. My evil colleague at the all-team presentation was reacting to the flagrant contrast of his pathetic presentation skills on stage with mine. There was nothing wrong with my content, my substance, because I was representing the department, and so the materials were reflecting the results gained and the plans for the next year. What he didn't like was being upstaged by someone who could command the room, engage the audience, and deliver clear messages in a professional way. Nothing he could ever be accused of. So he went for the personal put-down to assuage his own inadequacies and perceived loss of faith. As we climb the ladder of our career growth, we will be placed in situations where we have to represent our team or company and make professional presentations. It is almost inescapable if we cannot even grasp the importance of mastering the nito-ru, or two-sword method, of going into business battle with both high-quality content and high-quality delivery, then we won't be moving very far up the totem pole within our organizations. Find out more. We come back from the break. You can find out more about those programs on our website at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, and you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, we have over 1,000 for you there on Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which is the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Now, today's show is being sponsored from our Professional Leadership Series. On the 26th of March, we'll be looking at the innovation process. And on the 2nd of April, we'll be looking at analyzing issues and making decisions. Welcome back. I was coaching a senior executive in a multinational organization recently when I asked for the 3 most important things to be gained from the one-on-one training. The first one mentioned was quality content. Uh-oh. I had an alarm bell go off in my head because quality content has to be a given. I asked to see the slides to be used for the presentation to the big boss. Uh-oh. On the first slide, there was lots of content. In fact, a veritable forest of content hiding all the key messages. The other slides were all the same. Overwhelming amounts of visual stimulation diluting the points which we were meant to absorb. I suggested that each of these slides be broken up and the same information be spread over 3 slides. If there was a need to show a build or a contrast, then only show the left side of the slide at first. Then grey that information out and bring up the middle of the slide, and so forth and so on. In this way, we funnel our audience's attention to just the section we want to highlight and cut down the distraction. This executive was open to the advice and actually told me what I was looking at was the slimmed down version of the deck. My mind boggled, wondering what the original looked like. While my mind was under assault from this revelation, another bomb was dropped. Today, all of their presentations are being done online. Okay, fine. However, this executive's colleagues, who are senior leaders in this massive organization, do not switch on their own cameras when they present. That little morsel just stopped me in my tracks. What? I get it. Because you are presenting slides, the platform relegates you to a tiny box on screen and does the same to your audience. Does that mean, though, as a leader in the organization, you lead by turning off your camera? Getting people who are working at home engaged during business calls is tough enough without fostering a no-camera culture of hiding. There is a slippery slope here to the wondrous joys of multitasking in the background of calls and no longer paying attention to what is being said or shown during the session. Yes, we are trapped in a tiny box, but we have to do our best with what we have. We need to look at the camera lens. Get the lens right up to eye height and use 20% more energy than normal to work in this visual medium. These are absolute basics. And beyond that, we need to be using gestures and even more energy to engage the audience. Let's master Nitoru presenting and be strong on content and delivery quality, no matter the limitations of the medium we are employing. If we are leaders, we have to set the pace and the standards. There are no excuses. Thank you for joining the Presentations Japan series. If you got value from today's show, spread the love around and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you have learned today, use it, and go out there and become a presentations legend. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.